Hi, Hare Krishna. My name is Bhakta Dasa and I'm a member of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which is commonly known as the Hare Krishna movement here in Australia. I'm an interfaith director for the Hare Krishna movement, and also I'm part of the Hindu Council of Australia, which is a large body which represents the Hindu community. I've been asked to say a few words about onegod.com, which I'm very pleased to do, in fact, because in reality there is only one God. And in our scriptures, in our understanding, actually even in the majority of Hindu faith, monotheism, or the idea of one God, is quite prominent, to the extent that about 80 to 90% of all Hindus believe in one single solitary supreme creator. Our founder of the Hare Krishna movement, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, said on this topic, and I wanted to quote from him: as far as Vaishnava Hinduism is concerned, or the Hare Krishna movement is concerned, we welcome every religion. We don't decry any religion. Our point is to love Godhead, Krishna. Krishna is a name for God. God is all love, all attractiveness. So we want to be attracted to Krishna, to God. He further gives the analogy that actually Krishna or God is like a magnet, a force, and iron is attracted to it. So unless the only way that iron is not attracted to the magnet is when it's rusty, it's automatically otherwise attracted to this magnetic force. So similarly, we're contaminated by material coverings. We have the rust of selfishness that's embodied upon us. So within Krishna consciousness, we're trying to make ourselves rust-free, or at least develop a little less rust than we currently got. So that is immediately a way that we can again attract ourselves to God. So this is a purifying program, and we encourage everyone all over the world through the Krishna consciousness movement to have this process. Krishna is God, He's all attractive, that's a fact. And we are attracted to God. Believe it or not, every one of us in our own way is attracted to God. Even if we see a beautiful sunset, if we see a beautiful flower opening up, if we see the birth of a small child, these are all attractions to the Supreme Creator who created this. So we're all attracted to God. But being covered with this rust, we are, instead of being attracted to God or Krishna, we are attracted by Maya, His material energy, the temporary energy that we find ourselves in this material world. So the Hare Krishna movement aims to encourage all people to love God and to give information as to how to love God. And in this context, with onegod.com, I love the phrase that they use of a united tribe. The uniting of all people of spiritual belief, all people of faith and love in God coming together. The Vedic scriptures actually also instruct that. Human society is judged by how much it enhances love of God within that society. This is what the Vedas teach. The incarnation of the Supreme Lord, who manifested himself 500 years ago within the tradition of Vaishnava Hinduism, called Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, said, and this is in Bengali, Nam namakari bahuda neja shava saktis. God has many names. God is attractive. His name is also attractive because He is not different from His name. So if you have the concept of God that created everything beautiful that you see, He is automatically attractive, and His name similarly is also attractive. We simply say, you chant God's name, His holy name, and then you become purified. That's our program. We don't say that you have to change your religion. Absolutely not. If you have got a bona fide name of God, an all-attractive name from your religious tradition, not one that's manufactured that all of a sudden you think, hey, that's a good name of God, I'll just think of that. No, it has to be authorized through the scriptures, through your teachers, through the bona fide saints of a particular tradition. Then it's emphasized within the Vedas that you please chant that holy name. We simply request that you chant, call on the names of God. Any religion, call on the names of God. If one is serious about religion, religion simply means the laws of God. And the first and foremost law or direction of any religion, of all the basic religions of the world, is to call upon the holy name of God as a dedicated, daily routine in which we develop an all-encompassing compassion for humanity and all of God's creation. Just as the sun is called by different names in different countries, so the name of God may be different in different countries or societies. But just as the sun is the same for all, God is one and the same for all. That is why, on behalf of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we applaud the efforts of OneGod.com and wish them well in encouraging their worldwide audience to not only recognize that there is only one God, but to experience God in our daily lives. We need to call on His holy names. The question arises then, what's so special about God's names? God does have names like you and I. He doesn't have names like you and I, which are mundane sounds given to us for the sake of our physical identity. Oh, this is such and such, this is such and such, he lives here, he lives there, he comes from there. God has no need for such identification. He has no physical identity. He is completely spiritual. But according to His divine unlimited qualities and pastimes, He has innumerable names in all different languages. For example, in the Bible, He has names that describe Him as Almighty or Omnipotent. Or in the Muslim tradition, we have Allah, the greatest. God is great. The most prominent name within the Vedic scriptures is Krishna, which means all attractive in Sanskrit, the oldest language known to mankind. Or Rama, the giver of supreme pleasure. Because God has no mundane qualities, His sound vibration in His name is also not mundane. It is spiritual and non-different from Him. And when we say Him, we're just using that. Actually, God has both male and female component parts. He is both male and female. Because God is absolute, His name is also absolute. When we begin chanting, however, we may not immediately feel His presence because our materially contaminated consciousness. That's that rust again on that piece of iron. So we have to remove that rusty condition. But because He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, calling on His names is the most personal and intense form of prayer. If we practice chanting sincerely, we will soon feel God's presence within us. God actually manifests Himself to us. There's a saying within the Vedic teachings, if we make one step towards God, God makes 1,000 steps towards us. So it is incumbent upon us to at least make a little attempt to find out this wonderful personality that has created the life before us and try to connect with Him. And this calling of the holy names of God is the way we do that. That is what's needed in the world today, to feel God's loving presence in our lives. The one God, the same loving Father, Mother for all of us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.